So, Mr. Speaker, we on this side, we are united that we will not support E-Levy. We will not vote for E-Levy. Mr. Speaker, when VAT was introduced, today they create an impression that the NDC is anti-development, anti-progress, anti- and obstructing government. When you demonstrated against VAT, today, account for how much VAT contributes to national revenue. Significant. Yet, were you obstruction? Is it because you thought that you will never rule or govern? No, Mr. Speaker. So the notion and the erroneous impression being created in the minds of people, the NDC minority is obstructing government, should be dismissed in limine. It should not be given any space. When VAT was introduced, you were on the streets. People lost their lives. We said, do more consultation. So, Mr. Speaker, we do not support E-Levy. Now, Mr. Speaker, thanks to our economists here, E-Levy, initially, they even thought of foreign remittances. Why do you want to tax foreign remittances? Somebody brings in his foreign direct investment, you want to tax it. Mr. Speaker, finally, the banks and the financial institutions of this country should not be subjected to this obnoxious, punitive, insensitive tax. Mr. Speaker, it will be a disincentive to the private sector of Ghana. It will affect our effort at digital inclusion. Mr. Speaker, therefore, in concluding, we are not able to support the electronic transaction or electronic transfer levy of 1.75%. We think that is regressive, it marks of double taxation, and the people of Ghana should not suffer further taxes. Our financial institutions and the banks should not be made to pay a levy. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm serving you notice. I have courtesy to listen. I have listened to my colleagues have listened to me, Mr. Speaker, because we do not support the E-Levy. The minority group led by me as the minority leader will not be associated with any further proceedings on the E-Levy. We want to be recorded that when E-Levy was brought to the Parliament, we stood together, opposed to it, we asked for its rejection, and we said we would not support it, Mr. Speaker.
Do we effectively want to stop E-Levy?
On that note, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity and to ask President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to withdraw this punitive, regressive, insensitive tax, and that we do not support it, and you don't need any vehicle for Chop Chop to go and collect E-Levy. The telecos are already taking it. You only need to engage them. Understand there are other fintech institutions. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'll disappoint you because I'm concluding, Mr. Speaker. I know that man. So what do you do? So, Mr. Speaker, this side, we don't support E-Levy. We will not support E-Levy. Count us out of it. They can proceed with whatever business they want to do. I thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, wait, he's waving. No, he's waving. No. Mr. Speaker, put the question. You want something? Put the question. Put the question. Put the question. Mr. Speaker, put the question. My colleagues are in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues are in the chamber. I invite you to put the question now. Put the question now. They are in the chamber. Put the question now. They are in the chamber. Put the question now. Mr. Speaker, I'm inviting you. Put the question now. They are in the chamber. Out.
Am I, Honorable Majority Leader, am I to understand that you are foregoing your submission?
Yes. Yes. I want you are here. Put the question.
All right. Honorable members, the report of the committee to support the second reading of the electronic transaction bill 2021.
Provide for related matters.
The guy. Where? Honorable members, the Electronic Transfer Levy Bill 2021 is accordingly read a second time. Leadership, any guidance?
Mr. Speaker, I believe we can deal with the consideration stage of the Electronic Transfer Levy Bill 2021. Mr. Speaker, many of the things the committee have already agreed on and factors in into the committee's own amendment proposed. The major matter relating to the rate, as we listen to the minister, he himself is going to lead the House in proposing an amendment to the rate. So, Mr. Speaker, I believe we can deal with the consideration stage. Thank you.
Honorable members, particularly to the leaders of the House, when you keep on giving surprises to the Speaker, the Speaker will be giving you surprises. The movement of the motion itself was a surprise, and the walkout is another surprise. So today is the birthday of the President. It's not a surprise day. And he wants to celebrate it before coming to us tomorrow. We hope that his message will be one to be celebrated. But these surprises to the speaker sometimes are overwhelming. And I will still continue to do everything for us to be able to manage this house together. The people of Ghana are looking up to us. They are not looking down, because we are not down, we are up. And that leadership we must not fail to provide. And so we need to continue to make sure that we process the bill, which meant that after we finish the second reading, we have to go to the consideration stage. We have a few days to rise. And I have no problem with us going on with the consideration because the House is properly constituted. You know, how doesn't stop the House from proceeding with his business. And so my pleasure is for us to continue. And we'll move to the consideration stage of the bill. And that is at item item 28.
Speaker, item 28 is a procedural motion. Mr. Speaker, because this bill has been certified by the relevant committee as of urgent nature, item 28 is it has no relevance. So we must move straight to item 29.
The issue raised by the majority leader is right. By the casting vote of the chair of the committee, a decision was taken by the committee and the House was accordingly advised, and the House accepted that it's an agent business, and so we will not need this procedural motion at item 28. And so we'll go straight to the consideration stage, which is item 29. Honourable members, Clause 1.
Imposition of the levy on electronic transfer.
We have a number of proposed amendments to Clause 1. In the absence of the minority leader, we move to Roman item 1 of Clause 1 and call on the Minister for Finance to move that proposed amendment. Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Clause 1, amendment proposed, subclause 1, line 1, delete 1.75% and insert 1.50%. I so move.
Motion moved is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor of the deletion of 1.75 and the insertion thereof of 1.50%, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. We have another proposed amendment. In fact, a number of them, 2, but the members are not available to move them. And so they are considered to have been dead on arrival. So I put the question on clause 1. Those in favor of clause 1 as amended, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. Clause 1 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 2.
Scope of application of levy.
We have a number of proposed amendments. The members available, I can see, is only the Minister of Finance. So, Minister, you may move your proposed amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Clause 2, VII, amendment proposed, subclause 2, paragraph C, line 2, delete ghana.gov.system and insert ghana.gov/system or any other government of Ghana designated payment system. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion moved is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. And I put the question. There is another proposed amendment come from the chairman of the committee, which is at page 18, Roman 11. Yes, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee's amendment, clause 2, amendment proposed. Subclause 2, add the following new paragraph. Electronic clearing of checks. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion moved is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. I put the question on the whole of the clause, that's clause 2. And the question is that those in favor of clause 2 to stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 2 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 3.
Administration of levy.
Clause 4.
Authority to collect levy.
Clause 5.
Payment to consolidated fund.
Clause 6.
Recovery of levy.
Honorable members, there is no proposed, so up to clause 5, no proposed amendment to clause 3, 4, and 5. So I'm putting the question on those 3 clauses. All those in favor of the 3 clauses standing part of the bill say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 3, 4, clauses 3, 4, and 5 are ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 6. As chairman of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee's amendment. Add the following new subclause subclauses to clause 6. 2. The Commissioner General shall not contract a private service provider to provide at a fee or commission any revenue monitoring or revenue assurance service for the purposes of this Act. Mr. Speaker, if you permit me, I'd like to add another amendment under the same clause, so we take them together. So 3, subsection 1 does not preclude the Ghana Revenue Authority from requesting the conduct of a special audit on revenue accounting by any particular entity listed in the first schedule. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Please, let the word of this additional amendment. Yes.
I was just reminding the chairman of the committee that 3 relates to the new 2. We rather should read subsection 2 does not preclude the Ghana Revenue Authority from requesting the conduct of special audits on revenue accounting by any particular entity listed in the first schedule. It relates to the proposed 2, the proposed subsection 2, not subsection 1.
Chairman, what do you say to that?
Mr. Speaker, I agree. I think it was a typographical error. It has to be subsection 2.
And so let's get that rendition, and that comes in as 4, right? No, I'm reading the order paper. The order paper, Roman 7, clause 6. You have this proposed new clause, subclauses 2, 3. So this one comes out.
Speaker, it amends the 3. The 3 should read subsection 2. Subsection 2, not subsection 1.
Yes, I recognize that, but I'm trying to capture what he has said, because it's not on the order paper.
No, you're kind.
You added an amendment to what is on the order paper.
But the Speaker, he read the advertised 2 and 3 together. So it was not a new one that he was introducing. He was seeking your leave to put the 2 together. Yes. So it's just, he read 2 and 3. It's not a new one that is introducing of.
Honourable members, the proposed amendment, as I understand it, is to delete 1 in line 1 under clause 6.3 and insert 2. Those in favor of the amendments proposed under clause 6 at page 19 of the order paper say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The amendments are carried. I put the question on the whole of clause 6. And the question is that those in favor of clause 6 standing part of the bill say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 6 as amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 7.
Regulations.
Clause 8.
Administrative guidelines.
Yes, I can see there are some proposed amendment to clause 9. So I put the question on clauses 7 and 8. Those in favor that clauses 7 and 8 stand part of the bill, say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clauses 7 and 8 are ordered to stand part of the bill. Clause 9.
Interpretation.
Chairman of the committee.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Clause 9, amendment proposed. Add the following new interpretation after definition of electronic money issuer. Electronic transfer means a transaction carried out electronically on the initiative of an originator through an institution or platform with a view to making available an amount of money to a beneficiary. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
Motion moved is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question. Those in favor of... Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, simplicity. It rather should read electronic transfer means a transaction carried out electronically on the initiative of an originator through an institution or platform to make available an amount of money to a beneficiary with a view to just at the declaration of intent, then you are being taxed. It rather should read, we delete with a view to making, and instead to make available an amount of money to a beneficiary. That is better.
Yes, Chairman, what do you say to that?
Mr. Speaker, I agree with that.
Honourable members, there's a further amendment to what has been proposed and moved by the chairman of the committee. When you look at clause 9, the proposed amendment, line 3, delete with a view. And then in line 4, delete making and insert make. So the proposed amendment reads as follows. Electronic transfer means a transaction carried out electronically on the initiative of an originator through an institution or platform to make available an amount of money to a beneficiary. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. And I put the question. There are two further amendments to clause 9, standing of the chairman. So please, Chairman, can you move the two?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please, with your leave, I would like to move XXII and XXIII together.
Yes, go on.
Clause 9, amendment proposed. Interpretation of merchant. Line 2, delete end and insert all. And then in the same clause 9, amendment proposed. Interpretation of specified merchant payments. Line 3, delete end and insert all. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion moved on the two amendments on clause 9 is for the consideration of the House. There being no consideration, I put the question on both proposed amendments. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The proposed amendments are carried. And I put the question on the whole of clause 9. And the question is that clause 9 as variously amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 1 as variously amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honourable members, we move on to page 20 of the order paper, I see a proposed amendment XXV, new clause, but the proposal is not available. The same at page 21 and also continuing page 20, we have some proposals, but they are also not available. And so they can be taken unless the minister will want to consider them. Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Second schedule amendment proposed, paragraph 3, delete and insert the following: transfers from bank accounts to mobile money accounts. I so propose.
Please, can we get the rendition of your proposed amendment?
The proposed amendment, guys. So transfers.
The text of the proposed amendment.
Proposed amendment. The text of the proposed amendment.
That's what you said is fine. It's X.
Is it new clause?
Transfers from bank accounts to mobile money accounts.
Honorable members, the minister was trying to jump the gun. I wanted to deal with the new clauses that were proposed, but the members proposing them are not available. So definitely they cannot be taken and they are not before the House. So we consider them as withdrawn. Now we move to the schedules and we start with the first schedule.
Entities.
I think that's what the Minister of Finance was trying to deal with. So, Minister, this is the time for you to move your proposed amendment. First schedule.
Entities.
Honorable members, there is no proposed amendment to a first schedule, so I put the question. Those in favor of the adoption of the first schedule say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The first schedule is ordered to stand part of the bill. The second schedule.
Types of transfers covered.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Second schedule, the amendment proposed, Mr. Speaker, paragraph 4, delete and insert the following: transfers from mobile money accounts to bank accounts. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
What I understand the minister to be saying is that at 4, first line, we should delete carried out using the following modes. Is that what you are proposing? But what is read is there, transfer from mobile money accounts to bank accounts.
Mr. Speaker, item XXS, second schedule, amendment proposed, paragraph 3, delete and insert the following: transfers from bank accounts to mobile money accounts. I so propose, Mr. Speaker. So we are back to
Honorable members, when you look at the order paper at page 21, the motion that has been moved by the minister is XXX. And the proposal is for us to delete the whole clause in the second schedule, paragraph 3, and then insert the following: transfers from bank accounts to mobile money accounts. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. We now move to the next proposed amendment, which is numbered XXXI. Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, XXXVI, second schedule, amendment proposed. Paragraph 5, delete and insert the following: bank transfers on an instance paid digital platform or application originating from a bank account belonging to an individual, subject to a threshold to be determined by the minister. I so propose.
Well, Minister, you've gone faster than what we have. So move the XXXI 21, which has 21 and 22, pages 21, 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. XXXI, second schedule, amendment proposed. Paragraph 4, delete and insert the following: transfers from mobile money accounts to bank accounts. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, motion moved for the consideration of the House. I put the question. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Now we move to XXXIII. There is a proposed amendment starting of the chairman of the committee. Yes, Chairman, you may move your proposed amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Second schedule, amendment proposed. Clause 3, paragraph C, at N, delete in writing and insert by regulation. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
Motion moved for the consideration of the House. I put the question. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. We have another proposed amendment standing in the name of the chairman of the committee, numbered XXXIV. Yes, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Second schedule again, amendment proposed. Clause 4, paragraph C, at N, delete in writing and insert by regulation. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
It's quite consequential. And so I put a question on that. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. And then we move to the proposed amendment standing in the name of the Minister for Finance, XXXVI. Minister for Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Second schedule, amendment proposed. Paragraph 5, delete and insert the following, Mr. Speaker. Bank transfers on an instant pay or any other digital platform or application originating from a bank account belonging to an individual subject to a threshold to be determined by the Minister. I so propose, Mr. Speaker.
Minister, what you just said is not what is captured on my order paper. Bank transfers on an instant pay data platform or application originating from a bank account belonging to an individual subject to a threshold to be determined by the Minister. That's what I have.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I also inserted or any other after an instant pay.
Yes,
in the first line.
You need leave to insert that further amendment. So you have to seek my leave to insert that amendment into your amendment now, the current one. Then I can grant it and you do so.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I seek your leave, Mr. Speaker, to amend it as such, or any other. Thank you, Mr.
Members,
Speaker.
the amendment proposed has been further amended as read by the Minister of Finance. Those in favor of the proposed amendment, say aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The amendment is carried. We have a further amendment, this time standing in the name of the Minister for Communication. And it's your time to move your proposed amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the previous amendment takes care of my concern, and so I abandon my amendment, my proposed amendment. Thank you.
Proposed amendment by the Minister of Communication accordingly withdrawn. Honourable members, I put the question on the whole of the second schedule. And the question is that the second schedule, as variously amended, stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The second schedule, as variously amended, is ordered to stand part of the bill. Honourable members, we now move to the long title of the bill.
An act to impose a levy to
Sorry. Just a minute. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I would want us to go back to page 20. That is
Page
20, item listed as XXVI, Roman number 26.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the amendment stands in the name of the Honorable Samuel Nati George.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, that amendment really captures what we had been discussing earlier on, even though it bears the name of the Honorable Samuel Nati George. Mr. Speaker, I want to move that amendment, subject to a few further amendments, because, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about strengthening reportage and also the oversight functions of Parliament.
Well, I really drew your attention to it, but I think you didn't take advantage of the opportunity created at that time. We will grant you, so we can do that.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, is to add a new clause after clause 6. And one is the Ghana Revenue Authority shall present to the Minister quarterly reports on the performance and expenditure of the Electronic Transfer Levy Fund on the Electronic Transfer Levy not later than the end of the month following the end of each quarter. That is one. Mr. Speaker, the second should read, the Minister responsible for Finance shall publish semi-annual reports on the electronic.
I want to hear what he's saying because it's further amending what is before us so that I can capture it properly. Yes, go on.
The Minister for Finance shall publish semi-annual reports on the electronic funds not later than the Speaker shall publish the annual reports on the Speaker in presentation of the annual budget statement and economic policy. It will accompany that. And the second one will be in the course of the mid-year review, so that it will be twice. So the presentation of the main budget and the mid-year review. So the Speaker,
yes.
The first one, I guess we agree.
Have you adopted the last leg of the paragraph and shall present the reports to Parliament?
Yes.
And so what I have here,
The Speaker,
is
the first is the submission of the budget statement and economic policy.
yes. I want to read what I got down.
Right.
So that if you are correct, or if I make a mistake, you can correct me. Now, the new clause proposed as XSVI at page 20 of the order paper is further being amended by the majority leader by leave. Number 1, line 3, you delete fund. Then number 2 reads as follows. The Minister for Finance shall publish semi-annual reports on the electronic levy funds not later than the presentation of the annual budget statement and economic policy of the government and the mid-year review of the budget performance of that year, if any. It's not every year that you may have mid-year review. Some years you may not have mid-year review. Or we want to legislate that you must always have mid-year review.
Mr. Speaker, the mid-year review is statutory.
So we do it.
Yes.
So no if any.
It's rather
yes.
The additional expenditures. If they are
budget performance, full stop. And shall present the report to Parliament. Those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Yes, Chairman, is there a mistake before I haven't put the question, the final one yet? The ayes have it. The motion is carried, and I put the question on that proposed new clause. Those in favor that a new clause as captured in the proposed amendment XSVI.
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
Just a minor thing. I think the GRA, the report that they are going to present to the minister, relate to the revenue streams, not the expenditure. So rather, it should read reports on the performance of the revenues, not the expenditure. But they don't report on expenditure to the minister. It's the revenues. On the performance of the revenues.
Honorable members, yeah, we are at the consideration stage, so the rules are relaxed. That's why the maize should be tilted. Now, the majority leader has further amended subclause 1 of the new clause at item SSVI by the deletion at line 2, flowing to line 3 of and expenditure. Delete and expenditure and insert of the revenue. Of the revenue from what? From the what? From the electronic transfer levy. And so that subclause will read, the Ghana Revenue Authority shall present to the minister quarterly reports on the performance of the revenue from the electronic transfer levy, not later at the end of the month following the end of each quarter. So I put the question again. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. With this, I put the question on the new clause, and the question is that a new clause be inserted in the bill as captured at pages 20 and 21 of the order paper. Those in favor that that stands part of the bill say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Further amendment. Further amendment.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
My attention has been drawn to why the emphasis on 15th of February and 15th of August. Mr. Speaker, because the main budget, which is delivered in October or November, the year will not have ended. So I believe the first one, the 15th of February, is all right. And then the other one will be the mid-year review. As simple as that.
Yes, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I seek your leave. Earlier on, I had moved amendment in the name of the committee for XXXIII and XSXIB. But upon a second look, I realized that the minister's amendment in respect of XXX and XSXI have made our amendment unnecessary. I therefore seek your leave to withdraw those amendments. Okay, so
On two.
Yes.
Honourable members, the chairman has drawn our attention to what has been captured as Roman XI, which is at page 18 of the order paper. We've already put the question on it and we've agreed to the proposed amendment. Now, it was a negative proposed amendment. Those in favor of his current proposal that item captured as XI of clause 2 should say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. So that clause 2 numbered as XI has been negatived. And so I put the question on the whole of clause 2 again. That clause 2 as variously amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Clause 2 as variously amended is ordered to stand part of the bill. I can now move to the long title.
An act to impose a levy to be known as the Electronic Transfer Levy on electronic transfers to enhance revenue mobilization by broadening the tax base and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, those in favor of the proposed amendment, those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The long title is accordingly ordered to stand part of the bill.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
I believe we can, because of what we've done, we can issue some consequential directive to the table officers and the draft persons to help us clean what we have done up. And I guess we'll be home and dry with that.
Honourable members, in view of what has transpired, I want to direct, and that is why I want to remain silent, because after all this, the table office is mandated to capture all the decisions of the House. They cannot take away or add to what we have stated. And because of what has transpired, I want to give a general directive for them to take care of all the amendments that have been proposed, agreed, negative, and present a very well coordinated and accepted bill, because we have to go through it and signed before it's sent to the President for his assent. It's very important that the decisions of the House that is carried. So I should direct the table office, please do all and present it for us to be sure that that is the decision of the House. I should direct. Now, we will move to, I believe, the last item of the day, and that is item 31. 31. Sorry, honorable members, the Marshal will have to perform his duty. Honorable members, this brings us to the end of the consideration stage of the Electronic Transfer Levy Bill 2021. We now move to the third reading of the same bill, which is at item 31 of the order paper. Minister for Finance to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Electronic Transfer Levy Bill 2021 be now read the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved. It's now to be seconded.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded is for the consideration of the House. There being no further consideration, I propose to put the question on the whole motion. And the question is that those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it.
An act to impose a levy to be known as electronic transfers on electronic transfers to enhance revenue mobilization by broadening the tax base and to provide for related matters.
Honorable members, the Electronic Transfer Levy Bill 2021 duly read the third time and passed. Honorable members, by the guidance of my timepiece, is a few minutes after 2 p.m. You are definitely in my hands, and I'll proceed to adjourn the House, unless otherwise guided by the House. In the absence of that, I proceed to adjourn the House. And yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, it has to do with the program for tomorrow. That is the presentation to the House by the President, a message on the state of the nation, and to implore members that the event will happen in this chamber and that members are required to be seated by 9:45 in the forum. Mr. Speaker, that is the brief announcement that I have.
Strictly by our timelines. The Speaker is now as fit as a fiddle. And so, the Speaker will be in the chair by 10 in the forenoon tomorrow. We are expecting our invited guests to be here earlier than that, and that is why the majority leader says members should be seated at least 9:45. We expect His Excellency to be in immediately after the 10, and then we will proceed with business. So the House is adjourned to 9 in the forenoon tomorrow. The House is accordingly adjourned.
Onua TV. Onua TV. Yadwene ho pa. Onua TV. Yadwene ho pa.